Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. We are live and back at it again, folks. We are the Wrestling for Life Network. Happy Halloween to everybody out there as we bring you our Crown Jewel predictions and previews tonight. Lots to get into, lots to talk about. Get in that chat, click all those buttons. So strap in, strap on, grab your snacks, your trick or treats, and let's go. Ding, ding, ding. We are live and back at it again, folks. Like I said, we are the Wrestling for Life Network. This is our previews and predictions for WWE Crown Jewel tonight. Happy Halloween to everybody out there. Thank you for spending some of it with us here tonight. I hope everyone out there is happy, healthy, and safe and ready to go. We got lots to get into, lots to talk about, and even some extra matches on a card that usually doesn't have too many. But we're going to talk all about it, break it down, and give everyone out there our predictions and thoughts about the show coming up this Saturday. It's going to be a fun one. I will remind everybody out there, I am Mr. Evernight KJ White, the Iron Man of YouTube. That is Big Nick. That is Anthony. Let's go back to Big Nick. No.
Well, there we go. You did it backwards. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Wrestling for Life Network proudly brings to you its YouTube Tag Stream Trios Champions of the World. The chapeau that runs the show, ringside Anthony, the Sean Crahan to my Corey Taylor, I guess, the Every Night Delight, KJ White. But yes, I'm Big Nick, and I will ask you and I will ask everybody here watching of, are you actually excited for Crown Jewel? I know with the double championship matches for kind of that, this, and the third, like, didn't really mean a ton. Are you excited for Crown Jewel?
I mean, there's some, I guess, exciting matches on there. I'm not like too excited. Like Crown Jewel is a must watch. But I think they have some potential with, like, I think they added the Bloodline versus Bloodline match, right? I am looking forward to, out of the two big, championship matches, I am looking forward to Liv Morgan versus Nia Jax. I think because of their size difference, I kind of want to see how they work well together. I know they have done it in the past with Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax, and it worked well. So I'm kind of excited to see how it works with the Liv and Nia Jax.
I admit I'm excited about it. I know the initial card as far as those, title versus title for the Crown Jewel, gaudy title of the world, wasn't the most exciting. Interesting how they were going to build it. It's been a little bit lackluster. However, everything around those two matches, I think, is really exciting. KO, RKO should bang. The Bloodline versus the Bloodline should bang. Bronson, Seth should bang. Like, I mean, we're looking at some good options. We got a fatal four-way for the women's tag titles. There is a lot actually on this card outside of those two matches. And even those two matches have a little bit of fun. Tiffany's going to be there in her, bring her money in the bank. So what might happen with that, if anything? I don't know. I mean, again, I think overall, I still think Gunther and Cody is going to be a good match. Not the most exciting part of the card, but overall, I think the card itself looks really solid.
We have a really stacked card, and it's no thanks to the dual title matches or anything like that. Like, those, to me, you can miss that. You can have that. Those are, like, they're going to be good matches, but you're not compelled as to who wins.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, both matches are going to be good, but it's like, okay, after they win the title, the Crown Jewel title, what happens next? So,
Lord Stanley, how do we even feel of that? The fact that they're treating this like, I guess I'll ask the Canadian denomination here, of the fact that they're treating that championship like pretty much it's Lord Stanley, like it's, white gloves and a suitcase, and it's getting its own special pomp and circumstance being brought out.
I mean, to their credit, they've tried to make it feel special. They've tried to make it feel cool. They've tried to make it feel like something that really matters. We all know it doesn't. And I wish it did mean a little bit more. But at the end of the day, it is kind of this one-off title. Well, maybe they'll do it again next year, but we're not going to get Crown Jewel title defenses next week on Raw. So I get what they're doing. I understand why they did it. We don't like it. We understand that somebody paid for that belt. Therefore, they got to kind of obligated to make it kind of matter. But like Fetch, it ain't going to be a thing.
You want to take an over-under guess of how much WWE is getting paid to present that title like that? Because you got to be getting paid a little something special.
A couple billion.
Present that with the cases and, make an example of when it's, coming out on Raw and everything.
And I think it has like 300,000 stones or something like that in it.
Yeah, they're all cubic zirconium.
Yeah, it has a lot of money behind it, I'm sure.
That's why I'm convinced that only certain people can win this belt. Like Liv, you can't put the belt on her; she's just going to fall over. She's going to need Raquel to hold her up. Like, are you kidding me?
When
it's like
an
an 80-pound belt.
They'll confiscate it.
But yeah, overall, I think we are looking forward to it, folks. Don't forget, get in the chat. We will put polls up as we go along for each match. Get your 2 cents on it. We'll talk about the intangibles and what it could mean moving forward. And again, I think it kind of surprised us. They tacked on a couple matches. So we're getting 7. We've seen a lot of cards with 5. So a little more robust than we're used to. So it should be. Right. But with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on and start where we'll start. But there's a fatal 4-way. And yes, hello. Hope, like I said, I hope everyone out there is happy, healthy, and safe, doing well on this wonderful Halloween. I see a bunch of people with us. We will click as we go. But women's tag title, they've tried to do more with the women's tag team division in WWE. I feel like it's slightly ahead of the men's division, but a very compelling match with, 4 pretty strong teams here.
Are we surprised? No Unholy Union, no Alba Fire, no Isla Dawn, no none of that. Like they pretty much they were there and they had the belts and they moved along.
Not surprised, but a little sad.
Fair enough.
Yeah, because I feel like they came in and they had a little nice run there. It was like a month and a half, and then they just kind of disappeared. So I'm feeling the same way as KJ. I'm not surprised, but they do have some pretty good teams in this one though.
Yeah, and I think that they've kind of had their swing a little bit for the time being. So I think that's what's happening here is you bring in a couple more fresh teams. Like we haven't seen Chance and Carter for the last little bit here either. They came back and then kind of got put back on the shelf. So I think we give it a little bit of time and see what happens with this division.
So do you think this is an alley-oop for, a retention as far as tag team titles here of, if you're saying that they've got a deep division and we're going to put some people on the sideline, do you think this is an alley-oop?
Not necessarily. I think there's some intriguing answers that could possibly play out.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you got Chelsea Green and Piper Niven in there. I would love to see them hold the gold, right? I think Damage Control needs a couple of more wins under the belt. They've been struggling just a tad bit. And then you got Jakara and Lash Legend, both up and comers, both at the top of their game right now too. So then you got the champs. You got Bianca and Jade who are really holding that tag team division down. So I think each team has their like opportunity to win. But I still feel like Jade and Bianca will come out with the victory. But if they want to give it to Piper Niven and Chelsea Green, I ain't gonna be upset because Chelsea Green is hilarious, and I think having Piper next to her is phenomenal too.
You ain't say nothing about the Sky Pirates, my guy.
I did.
Like,
I
you don't think that they're gonna be there?
Wins under their belt because they've been kind of on that losing end.
Oh, all right, fair enough.
Can't see Bianca and Jade losing their position as champs yet. Lash and Jakara, the first NXT stars going to Saudi. I got them pulling an upset. Ooh, I like it. Nick, what did you think? I know you
Lash and Jakara. I'm halfway on a metaphor here because they very much have featured them across multiple shows, clearly going at those tag belts. And I've constantly made the comparison between Jade and Lash, so I kind of want to see that play out too. So that's the thing, is this match is kind of stacked of like you could be completely wrong and it's still not a bad outcome,
right?
But I'm going with Lash and Jakara here. Just I'm hoping on the hopiums here.
Interesting. And Anthony, you pick Chelsea and Piper or the champs?
I'm still picking the champs. And you know, the like one of the other options here is to making the champs look like they won't have to get pinned for losing the title. So that's another way to keep Jade and Bianca strong. But yeah, I'm gonna still take Jade and Bianca, but I'm with Nick. Like any outcome here is not a wrong choice.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of would love to see the Sky Pirates or Damage Control get it back. I like the idea of Chelsea and Piper stealing this one. I think it'd be kind of fun. I like it. I really think it's going to happen? No, but I think I'm going to pick them just because it seems like it would be highly entertaining if they could pull it off.
Do they win as Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce and everything with their Halloween costumes and everything? Do they get the pin that way?
Right.
Or they seem like the ones that would be doing like the Trump and Biden shit on Kill Tony. That huge title match.
38% of the chat are going with the champs. Lash and Jackson, which I do love calling them that, by the way. Lash and Jackson, 31%, Chelsea 19, and Damage Control at 12. So kind of in the same realm of what we were saying, but yeah, I mean the champs are hard to beat. The champs, I think in the past it felt like the women's tag titles were like a purgatory. Like hold these while you do nothing. Now it feels like two women that legitimately want those titles and are doing their best to make them matter.
Yeah, but they also don't seem like that, there's no challengers that they can't move away and move to somebody else or anything like that with this. Like that's the thing is now at this point, they've really filled out a division here, intentionally or unintentionally here, to where that title can bounce around now and still feel relevant.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to say, and the chat can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like this is the first time the tag team championships have been defended on a pay-per-view in a minute. Usually it's on like the pre-show. So on the main card, I feel like it's been a minute.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say because I feel like they were at Clash because that's where they had the title changed originally with
that's right.
But
That's
I don't know.
Clash.
You might be right though about it being on the pre-show though. Like I'm not sure if it was the pre-show or like match 1 or 2. Like it's always been kind of a lower card thing for sure.
Right. I know it was on the pre-show for Elimination Chamber. Clash though, you might be right though. Clash might have been on the main card.
But you're definitely valid as far as it's not a common thing like with the women's tag belts. And again, I think there's a couple peripheral teams out there that can get in the mix, and I kind of like where Nick's mind is as far as doing something cool. Like if Lash and Jackson can pull it off and show up next Wednesday with the belt, I think it's going to be a good look.
You've got to add a spark. You've got to add something to it, I feel, with this division. Like, all due respect of Bianca and Jade are dominant, but do you really, like, are they on the forefront of when you think about title holders within WWE?
I think at times, yeah. Like, I mean, it's a tough one, right? Because the division itself, but I mean, I do give Jade.
Well, we've proven that this division is pretty stacked that we can have a fatal 4-way, and literally, you could make literally a case for anybody to win it.
Yeah, I mean, valid. And again, there's a couple teams you could, substitute in there. I'd love to see Unholy Union get used a little more and come back into it. But they had their little run. Now they've backed off. Like I said, Chance and Carter's kind of kicking around out there. We see all the ladies on NXT making a case in a lot of ways. So we'll see. But it should be a fun match.
Well,
yeah, absolutely. It'll be a great match. This is one I'm looking forward to too.
Yeah. Match number 2. I can't wait for this one. I really am excited for this one. But this story building into this has been outstanding. KO jumps Cody after bad blood. Randy tries to be the voice of reason. He gets whooped for his efforts. And here we go, a match at Crown Jewel, which Triple H is advising Randy does not do because KO is dangerous.
This is a wee bit of a coin flip because do you take Randy and he starts to get an eye, a glimmer, a gleam towards Cody's belt and everything, but KO's very much still need to speak his piece when it comes to him versus Cody and all of that. I'm taking KO of I think that they've done a good job of really establishing him as a fucking viable threat. And like you even mentioned of with Triple H saying, you don't know what he's capable of. And Triple H has been a guy who's backed both Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. So I'll take KO here.
Yeah. I actually forgot this match was happening. So now this is another match I'm excited for. I love what they've been doing with Kevin Owens. I love the gaslighting they've been kind of throwing out there with Kevin Owens, and then even with Triple H. I think it was last week or the week before with Randy. I got Kevin. I really think I really like I feel like it's a different type of heel Kevin, right? It's
Right.
more of a mind games type heel. Like he's trying to get in your head. He's trying to tell you that you actually turned on me. And in hindsight, if you look at it, they kind of did turn on him because at least Cody, put himself in a tag team with Roman Reigns at Bad Blood, and then you had Randy coming out trying to play, saving both of them from one another, and got caught in the crossfire, right? So they kind of both turned on Kevin Owens. I feel like Kevin Owens has to take this here.
I've enjoyed the gaslighting of Kevin Owens. I love the fact that he's kind of turned it on its head, where everybody saw him beat up the guy, but at the same time, he was like, well, I'm innocent. He turned on me, put everyone else on notice, did the same thing with Randy. Then the whole thing about, like, I don't even know if I trust the company to come back. I don't know if I could do this to myself after how I've been treated. Like, it's beautiful.
Right.
I think, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, but I think KO is going to be a big part of the Crown Jewel story. I actually can't believe this, that we're going to be unanimous, but I do think Kevin Owens takes this victory. I think he'll be very conniving in the process. But I think KO steals this. I think if Randy beats KO, it will stop the momentum that he has. And I think Randy losing will be fine. He's still going to be Randy in the morning.
Are you Randy, baby?
Well, I have to click on this real quick. What do kids call Randy Orton at Halloween? Candy Orton.
But yes, Randy's story could still be more WrestleMania. I feel like Kevin Owens, like, he's got this story and probably the next pay-per-view or two, like, and that'll be the threat towards Cody Rhodes, and then Randy starts to really show his hand later on.
Yeah, they can kind of push this story with Kevin Owens and Cody probably up until Saturday Night Main Event, right? So you can do something at Survivor Series and do something at Saturday Night Main Event. For some reason, I'm really considering like Saturday Night Main Event, even though it's on national television, being a pay-per-view, because I feel like that's how they're going.
That's how I'm really hoping that's how they present it, though.
So I feel like you can get Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes at main event, Saturday Night Main Event, or at Survivor Series, depending on what they do with War Games or how if Cody's going to be involved with that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think so. And I think Saturday Night Main Event is going to be I think they're going to prop it up, and it's going to feel cool. It's going to feel big. I think there's going to be some cool matches that we get. The Randy KO Cody storyline, I think, is going to be very intriguing. It gives something meaningful for Cody to do from now till then. And it could be a combination. By the time we get to Saturday Main Event, it could be a triple threat. It could be a mix of things. We don't know where the loyalties lie. And I mean, it could be a case of maybe by then Randy's fed up and he's the next one to turn on Cody, just like his daddy, Nick.
I'm sick of your shit. I'm sick of your shit too.
Right? So I'm shocked that we're unanimous, but the chat is even with us, though. It's tight, 64% for Kevin Owens. So my kindred, my doppelganger out there, going to Saudi to get a dub. And someone asked the other night, he hasn't been to Saudi very often. I know he has been not involved for a couple of them. So this shall be interesting.
Yeah, but an RKO out of nowhere, though, can always change the tide. So
yeah,
as much as everybody's very much towards KO, one move can literally change the course of the match.
Right. I don't think KO should win. I'm curious as to why. Now, is there an opportunity here? Now, as much as I said it could stop KO's momentum, does KO take a loss and it just makes him even more disgruntled, even more upset? I kind of like if he's going to go
sides with Solo Sikoa.
Well, people have talked about that, but I don't see it.
No, if KO takes a loss here, he's just buried, in my opinion.
I hate that term.
Don't say that. You're above using that terminology, sir.
Nick just gave you. I'm not mad. I'm
be better, be better, do better, be better.
Right.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Since when was Orton ever afraid of a threat? He's not. That's the thing. That's what made that whole promo with Triple H and Orton really good, because you know, Randy had to say, yeah, I get you're being cautious. I get you're the guy in the suit nowadays, but I want the guy that showed up in my house and ran around with a sledgehammer and caused trouble to understand what I'm about to do and where I'm going to go. So, right. and that I think was the storytelling in it was so good of Randy's not afraid, but Randy's body isn't what it used to be, as much as the mind's still strong, but he has some glaring weaknesses that a guy like KO will love to expose.
Right. Yeah, but I feel like the closer we get towards WrestleMania, that bodes better for Randy than it does for Kevin, if I'm saying that correctly. But yeah.
Okay. Not bad. I mean, again, I think this should be a hell of a match, regardless. I'm really looking forward to these two pros going toe-to-toe on Saturday. So that one should be a fun one. Another one that's been a fun build, that's been a chaotic build, that has had a lot of ups, a lot of downs. I mean, man, this one's a little interesting to call as far as who walks out of Saudi the winner.
Seth Rollins.
I'm
going to put my foot in the ground here of I still think it'll be Seth Rollins. We're probably leaning closer towards when we were talking about WrestleMania season and everything like that, of a Punk Seth Rollins feud and everything. So Seth needs to get a bit of momentum. Bronson's been on a bit of a tear, has gotten a bit of the upper hand in all of this. I'm just going on a whim and saying Seth Rollins.
It's funny to say I'm going on a whim with Seth Rollins, former champion. And I understand why you said it. I'm not begrudging that at all. But it's kind of funny how they've set it up. Do we be like, I think Seth's got this one. Maybe. What do you think?
The guy that doesn't like Bronson Reed is taking Bronson Reed for the win. Yeah. I also have like half a mind to say this match doesn't even end with a pinfall or a submission, and they just
been an option.
Yeah, and they just kind of rip each other heads off, and it just ends in a no disqualification some type of way. But I am taking Bronson Reed for the win. Can't deny his ability in the ring. He's very good in the ring. I'm just not a fan of his mic skills, but this is going to be a fun match. You got Seth Rollins, who, you know, is like the staple of WWE, and you got Bronson Reed, who's the up and comer. Both gentlemen somewhat need a victory here, right? Just like Nick said, if they're going to push Seth and CM Punk towards WrestleMania, he may need a little bit of momentum here. Bronson Reed is kind of been destroying everybody, so it feels like it's a win-win type of situation here, but I feel like I'm gonna stick with my choice of Bronson Reed.
I think I'm stuck in the middle with both of you here.
Stuck in the middle,
right? I'm leaning Bronson. I think this would be a resume builder. I think Seth can come out of a loss to Bronson okay. I wonder if Bronson would survive the L. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like the IWC.
Is the feud alone a resume builder enough?
Yeah, that maybe is a valid point, a valid question, Nick. And I just really like what they're doing with Bronson. I love doing like the tsunami, like hit him with another 3, 4, 5 tsunamis, like squash this man. But wait, I'm almost talking myself into changing my
There we go. See how easy it is to get rid of you.
Like Bronson, put him on the shelf. Seth got the comeback. I'm going Bronson. I'm going to go Bronson.
Bronson would gain the most from this win, 100%. But to me, it's still, even the fact that he's in the feud, that he's been in this involved and everything, I think is such a benefit to him of
Yeah.
You're almost like, I don't want to say you're stronger by a loss, but the fact that you were even considered, it's like being up for an Academy Award. Even though you were a nominee, you've amplified yourself just because you were a nominee.
Yeah, and I mean, again, I should have made this an option in the poll because Anthony has a good point. This could just melt down into nothing, and then we continue this feud for the next few weeks into like a Survivor Series match. I mean, almost feel like we might not get a definitive winner on this one.
Well, we've also had other matches that seem like they could have been thrown into War Games, Survivor Series matches, and then, baseball bats and beyond have said, nay, nay.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I have a feeling we're going to get Phantom of the Ripley, but we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll definitely get there.
My
Yeah,
time.
I'm going to leave Bronson. The chat is 59%, so a pretty fair split between the two. As far as votes go in the chat. So even the chat's kind of torn. Again, to their credit, 2 matches, we've talked about 3 matches now, and no like clear cut, like this is the favorite. Like Jade and Bianca might be the biggest favorite of the first 3 matches that we've listed. Right. So kudos to them for this.
And I don't think any of us picked them actually to win that match.
I did.
Well, screw you.
He clearly not listening.
What else is new? Thank you for telling me what I already know.
Up next, this one shall be interesting. I'm not even sure how to call it, but we got LA Knight taking on or defending his title against Andrade, and which is technically game 8, which Nick wishes there was a game 5, 6, 7.
We're not even going to talk about that. I wasn't going to say nothing about that, but I'm going to just say 3 errors in the same inning. Just get your shit together, motherfuckers. But anyways, yeah. There's still to me LA Knight. Yeah.
Is it too soon to for LA to drop this?
The only way you have LA Knight kind of lose here is if he doesn't take the pin. Other than that, I feel like it's too early for LA Knight to lose that US title.
Yeah, I'm with y'all. I can't see LA. I think the other two are going to be so focused on each other to an extent because we still need, we don't have a winner in that series.
True, but do we need someone to take the belt off of LA to actually act like those series kind of matter a little bit to add a little bit of relevance to it of that title can change and we don't expect it to?
Yeah, no, there's not. I mean, again, could something out of the 3,
it's Andrade out of the 3 if it's not LA.
I was gonna go Carmelo because it really sets up the heel stealing the belt and running out of the building with it. And then the 2 be I wouldn't say, the 2 more babyish of the 3 just kind of oh shit, right? And Carmelo finds a way to steal it. I kind of like that. I think I'm gonna go Carmelo.
That's not bad though. That's not bad.
Just for a surprise. I'm in that kind of mood.
And I kind of agree with Nick saying having LA lose the title to one of those 2, it would bring some meaning to the series of matches that they're having, because each match has been great. I think each match has kind of topped one, the last one that they had. But at the end of the day, I feel like they need to be fighting over something. And if you put that title in the mix between not LA, but Andrade and Carmelo with LA on the backside on the horizon, I think that'd be a good choice. I'm still sticking with LA Knight, but I like that idea as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, I thought she was about to go a whole separate way. I don't know now if I want to go just to be difficult or if I want to stay with what I truly believe, but
well, I get to be the difficult one then, because I'm gonna go Carmelo. The chat's going heavy. This is a big favorite according to our chat. 82% of the chat's taking LA Knight. I do on paper believe that it's too soon. It might be a little too soon for LA Knight to give up that belt, but I like the idea of Carmelo running out of Saudi with the belt in his hand.
You do also though have to add a little pomp and circumstance, I guess, to the U.S. title division. You need to add you very clearly have it with the IC division. You don't have that quite so much, I feel, with the US title.
Mhm. Well, someone made the comment, I think it was MDB, about the idea that, LA's been a bit boring. So I don't know if LA himself has
Oh
been
yeah, like Cody, and just
right.
anytime there's any sort of baby face that doesn't lose it within 2 weeks, they're boring.
Right. I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting for sure. But I'm gonna go Carmelo just for fun, shits and giggles. I think it'd be really cool if he finds a way to steal one, and then Andrade and LA are mad at each other, and then what they got to chase him back down.
He's the true heel in this, so yeah, that makes
Yeah.
if that's gonna happen, that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I mean, again, another kind of, I would say that LA Knight's a heavy, heavy favorite. But I mean, again, who knows? That's why surprises are fun.
Right.
Right.
Whoa, into the crown jewel matches. As
Oh, anyone got a coin? Anyone got a coin?
Now we will mention real quick. We saw what happened. I know some snowflakes out there were like, there was so much blood on Rhea's face. Y'all need to shut up. But other than that, I mean, Rhea Ripley apparently broke her orbital bone being beat. Well, she didn't break it. Liv and Raquel broke it with bats. I love it. I think Rhea's gonna come back and surprise people when she comes back. But yeah, that's a big part of this story.
No, I don't try and play a medical practitioner or anything like that, but I don't know if there's anything that I saw in those x-rays that would make me think anything was exactly broken or anything like that. So, I mean, you do you, boo-boo, with keeping it kayfabe, but, like, I'm not a rocket scientist, but at least I didn't see nothing that seemed broken.
Yeah, I mean, her eyes looked weird in it, but other than that, we're good.
It's an x-ray, my guy.
Again, I mean, good storytelling. I don't know. I mean, it gives a reason for Rhea not to be in Saudi, and kind of stay away from the
Do
circumstance.
you think they're gonna pull it all the way to WrestleMania?
That's a long ways away. I mean, that's April 2025, man. Like that's
Does this pull out of Survivor, at least Survivor Series, if not WrestleMania or Royal Rumble? We saw a lot of people that mentioned her, Julia, Stephanie, and Delta, and versus Liv and all of that, and into a Survivor Series War Games match.
Yeah, that's wishful thinking on certain people's part. That's shoehorning, and I really hope they don't shoehorn us a women's War Game match that isn't merited.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm struggling with the women's War Games match. Like, if we're having one, who's involved, because it doesn't seem like they built to a story. And usually, like the past 2 years when we've had War Games, you can kind of tell where they're going with War Games for both men and women by the time you hit like July, because you start seeing like the same people kind of get involved in the story for months. This year that hasn't happened at all. But with this match, I am excited for it. I love Nia Jax and I love Liv Morgan, and I feel like I'll be wrong if I say Liv Morgan's gonna win, but Nia Jax been doing her thing. She's really been kind of holding down the women's division over there on SmackDown, feuding with Naomi, feuding with Bayley, having run-ins with Liv and things of that sort. I know they gave her big Saudi moment with the Queen of the Ring earlier this year. They might give it to Liv Morgan. I feel like Liv Morgan could take it here.
We saw Dom beat Damian this week. Anything is possible. The heel. The interesting part of this is it's very heel on heel.
Right.
Could Tiffy play a factor in Nia losing? Could Dom play a factor in Liv winning? There feels like there's more favor or more intangibles with Liv Morgan than there is with Nia, other than fact that Nia is an intangible unto herself.
A bit. Do we see Tiffany Stratton cash in at all? Just on a side note of, does she just get all the championships? I think Liv wins this because depending on the result of the other match for the Saudi Gaudy belt, of that, you're going to get the one that's going to get the most heel. The most heat of this is still heel versus heel, like I think KJ mentioned. So Liv to me gets the win here because we might go the complete opposite of it in the other one.
I think you kind of lost me at the end, but I think that Liv will get, like, again, imagine Liv shows up with this belt that barely fits her on Monday, or makes Dom carry this giant stupid belt into the building, dragging it like like an old sailor. I think it works huge for her. And then it gives another reason for Nia to be mad at Tiffany, to keep shitting on Tiffany. I'm going Liv for sure. But did either one of you hear the report that Rhea had hurt herself and that's why they did the angle where she's out hurt?
No.
Okay.
I did hear that. I did hear, like, I saw like 2 or 3 articles about it, that she was hurt prior.
Okay.
Before the attack on NXT.
Fair enough. I hadn't heard that.
That would really change things, and it might hinder the story a little bit. Like, where does Liv go from there if Rhea's on the shelf, right? Because that's been one of the more compelling things about Raw is the Liv Rhea storyline. So it's one of the better storylines of 2024. So if she's not coming back until Rumble because she's genuinely hurt her, I thought it was just kayfabe, and I hope it still is kayfabe. So we'll see. We know the dirt sheets are often wrong.
Well, but is that the way of they're pulling it out a bit further and everything? Like, even with her on the sideline, we don't know how long she's on the sideline. Could it be, whether intentional or unintentional, of this is your way to extend it however indefinite you need to?
Yeah, I think this could be, and I was gonna say, like, this is a good situation here. I don't want to see Rhea hurt if she's actually hurt, but this could be a good situation here for Liv, where she can actually kind of break away from Rhea for a minute and kind of get some other contenders in there with her, because the only person she's faced outside of Rhea, I think, was Zelina Vega. She lost the title to Becky Lynch, and then I think they ran it back, and then Becky Lynch, high kicked it out of there for a minute, and then she had Zelina Vega, and then Rhea returned, and it's been Rhea and her since maybe mid-June. So I think if Rhea is out right now, I think this is a time where you can actually make Liv look like more of a legitimate champion with her facing other people until Rhea comes back, and they could potentially push that to WrestleMania.
Yeah, and I'm actually changing my vote. Nia's going to win. I thought about it. Yeah, Nia's going to win. Screw it. Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. Someone asked, how did she get hurt? Now, we watch all the wrestling. I don't remember a spot where, like, somebody reported that she had taken a headbutt to the cheek. I don't recall seeing that on the show where she looked like she busted her eye or.
No, the most I remember was, I think it was one of the last couple shows or whatever, to where she was taking the backdrop and she landed on like Liv or Raquel's heel on the back of her head. Like, most of it's been back of the head stuff, not like orbital bone. Like, normally we've seen, Phantom of the Opera take her and everything like
right.
That. Normally, if you get the orbital bone, like, that's pretty obvious, pretty fucking fast. Like, that's not a.
No, like if you pop,
no, I got a grape head.
Yeah. So
I know one of the reports came from Meltzer, so you got to take that with a grain of salt. But I do know, I think they said she was pulled from a couple of live events. Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt there, but dear Dave Meltzer, if she's going to fake an injury, she's going to miss live events.
Right.
You fucking dummy. Is he new at this? Is he new? Is it your first week?
Alzheimer's is his friend. I'm just saying.
God damn it. Well, they pulled her from live shows. Clearly, she's really hurt.
Right.
he's out there just in the bleachers. It's still real to me, damn it.
Right. I mean, again, we love a good kayfabe story, so we'll see what happens. Brother Fluff saying if she can't go, you still have Becky and Alexa in the, Carmella's still out there as well. There's no lack of talent in the WWE.
Charlotte might be coming back.
Charlotte's due. Charlotte's close. Hold on.
Does she show up at Saudi?
No, Survivor Series. I've been saying Survivor Series, and that's just a guess. I don't know shit. I've been saying for a while, I think she returns at Survivor Series. I think Tiffany takes the belt from Nia at Survivor Series, and that's when Charlotte shows up to be like, hi, princess. Would you like to meet the queen?
Thank you. You can just give that to me an hour later.
Yeah,
Do you
and I
think
think a
they
lot of fans
save?
are gonna be pissed.
Do you think if it's not Survivor Series, they save Charlotte's return for main event, Saturday night main event, where
Yeah,
you have that?
yeah,
I think that'd be cool if you
Raw
have
on
Tiffany
Netflix.
cash in at Saturday
yep,
night main event and
I'm in.
then win, and then you have Charlotte return then. That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
But yeah, I feel like that might be the setup, right? Like, because I mean, really, we hear Tiffany consistently referred to as princess and such. So the princess versus the queen. At that point, Tiffany should be very over as a babyface, taking the belt from Nia, and then Charlotte gets to walk back in as a heel. Because I do not want Charlotte to come back as a babyface. She ain't good at it. It's not her
At
forte.
all.
Yeah.
But yeah, so officially, what do we
Liv,
go?
I'm
No,
still taking Liv as much as I want to take Nia.
the chat is 59% for Liv, so neck and neck again overall.
no.
But interesting. And actually, now that I think about it, guys, we did have that Zarya Rhea like moment, and it looked like her face was pretty fine, right? Did you mention
Right.
that? Okay, so
Right.
okay. I'm now thinking about it, just like wait a
No,
minute.
yeah, no. We sat there and had the whole moment on, NXT with even Jordan Grace and everything, to where she even put out there, we should have walked her to her car. Like, she was perfectly fine. And then that's why, like, I'm not playing, doctor. I've never slept at a Holiday Inn or anything. But to me, I don't see any fractures or anything that I would be super concerned with the X-rays that they showed out. Outside of just, we blocked out some shit because that shit don't show up in an X-ray.
Right? Is that your eyeball on your cheek?
Right. But with this match, so this is what I was saying. To me, the previous match with Nia and Liv is going to be more lean towards the more gonna get heat, gonna not be able to cut a promo without the crowd booing, heel with Liv. To me, this is going more uber baby face. This is going Captain America. This is Cody Rhodes wins this match.
No.
Captain Saudi.
Captain Saudi. Nope. I say no. No.
You say nay? Well, tell me why you say nay.
I think Gunther is going to run him through the ringer for a while, but I think Cody's going to get close. Gunther's not taking an L. Gunther's aura will not let him take an L. And I actually think that KO will be a big part of why Cody Rhodes does not win at Saudi.
That would be the biggest. That's the biggest trump card that you have, to where even a KO or potentially a Randy gets involved and costs Cody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Randy potentially. I mean, again, it would be interesting, but I feel like if, again, these are just predictions, folks, but I think if KO can find a way to lay a beating on Randy and then show up later in the night to get some more revenge on Cody, who's ultimately his target right now, I think it works well. Gunther, you don't want Gunther taking L's, even to Cody. Like, Gunther's done so well presenting the Raw title as the A title in the company, not the B title. I think if Cody beats Gunther, we're right back to, all right, he's the secondary champion. This is a good chance for the company to go, maybe the Raw guy's the A champ right now.
Fair enough.
Gunther taking a clean loss to Cody, I just don't see it.
No.
I've been saying it for months that I think Gunther is really at the top of his game, and I would love Gunther to just tear apart Cody and win this clean. But I
Cody
feel like
takes a clean loss. So Cody takes a clean loss.
I don't think so. I would want it to happen, but I don't think so. I think there's going to be an interference, whether it be Kevin Owens, whether it be Randy Orton, someone's going to get involved here. But I feel like Gunther, after he ran Cody through the mud on the mic, I think it was Monday Night Raw. I just want Gunther to have all this glory at Crown Jewel.
Gunther's been the better of the two champs in this rivalry.
Exactly.
Well,
and I feel like when it comes to Cody, and people might not like it, if he's not talking about his father in a promo, it's not good. So I'm sorry. Gunther ran him through the mud on Monday, and I want him to continue that momentum.
Right. Anthony used to be said, we corrupted him, guys. The Wrestling for Life Network effect. So Anthony's been corrupted. He's a CM Punk fan. He loves Gunther. He's an NXT fan. It's a lot of
Yeah, we're out here pulling for the heel in this whole situation, I guess. That's the majority decision here, 2 against 1 to where Gunther, the heel, versus takes down, Uber babyface, like the John Cena right now of wrestling with Cody Rhodes.
And partly, I don't believe this will be the main event match, so it's one of the reasons why.
I know that.
We're going to get away with the babyface not winning because it's not the last match of the night, so they're not really concerned with that. But also that I think the storytelling coming out of Crown Jewel is going to be very important with all these matches. And in my head, maybe I'm wrong, but if SmackDown's women's champion wins, then maybe the Raw one. Like I think we get one belt to each show, right? So I just don't know men or women.
Well, and like if this wasn't just if this was actually title for title, not for a fictionary title, this is up there with the greatest Royal Rumble title that's never going to be defended again.
Yeah,
the whole different outcome and everything. So I could see the outcome you predict of Gunther wins. I'm just going to go Liv wins and then Cody wins. I'm going the reverse of you guys with babyface and heels, I guess.
That's fine. And that, I mean, again, it's this one, even the chat, 56% Gunther, like neck and neck by all standards. The same thing with the last match, same thing with most of these matches, with one exception tonight, which is LA Knight. It's pretty much split the chat of like who's going to take an L, who's going to walk away champ. Yeah, I just think, imagine Gunther showing up with that giant belt around his waist and then his belt on his shoulder and just keeps that.
Yeah, I'm Suzu champion. I am the Dose champion right now. 100%. Right? I beat your hero, Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. I can hear it now. That's perfect, Nick. So again, very intriguing. As much as the build to the match, a lot of promos, not a whole lot of excitement, and we understand the meaning behind the match kind of sucks. But for me, the match itself should be a lot of fun. Gunther and Cody are going to sell the shit out of this. Gunther's probably going to, Cody's going to get his spots, but Gunther's going to be the strong-handed man that he is. It's going to be a fun match.
I'm just fucking imagining now Ludwig out there and your Crown Jewel champion. Like, I'm so wrong right now with this. It's like,
I love it.
Yeah, he'll be out there and he'll just play it up. And just because that's the thing, though, these are the two matches I don't care the least, like I care the least about, because they should have the most at stake, but they have the least at stake.
Yeah, again, these are a bit like exhibitions.
Yeah.
If he dies, he dies.
If I chop him, I chop him.
All right. Well, I mean, quick work, but this match got added on social media. I think because a lot of the internet was spoiling tomorrow's show because they suck. Yeah, y'all suck. I don't want to hear it. So they went ahead and announced this, but we know that there's been bonding between the OG Bloodline. The Bloodline 2.0 is doing their thing. This gets added to Crown Jewel, and it just adds another little. This to me made the card feel real cool. Like there was a lot of good matches here. This, I'm like, all right, we're in. Let's go. This feels like a big pay-per-view now.
This is the emphasis on all of this. This is 100% of we were talking about before of like, are you kind of excited? Like everything we should be excited, we're kind of not excited for. The shit that they're adding on is more of what we're excited for. This, like, I don't know how you're not excited for this.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, agreed. I feel like this is going to be, at first when it was announced, I was like, could we just save this for Survivor Series War Games? But I think it's just 3-on-3. So I'm excited for it. I really feel like this is going to be a test to see if Roman and Jay are really on the same page. We know what the spoilers are, but are they really on the same page? And if they're not, does this give them about 3 to 4 weeks to kind of get on that same page for War Games?
Well, and I do think there's a factor here. What is Sammy's role in this? We already played that game Monday. And I'll call it straight out. I'm taking the new Bloodline. The new Bloodline needs this win. They look strong heading towards Survivor Series. You need the you need the baby faces that to need the other person. If they win this one, then what's the big deal? There has been some rumors of maybe there's another Samoan out there that could be involved in this situation. Whether it's, Hakuna Matata, Hukaleo, I know it's fun to say, or somebody pops up to surprise us. Lance, but Sammy obviously gets pulled into this storyline. We've already seen it. I can't imagine a world where Sammy sides with Solo at the end of all this.
Right.
But it's a nice tease.
100%. And I know you and I have talked about this. To me, it's more likely Heyman would side with the new bloodline than it would be Sammy. I think Sammy almost might show up and think he's peacekeeper and think he's friends with everybody, and then get Samoan spiked, and then, just get sent on his merry way. To me, this has to be the new bloodline. And spoiler alert for when we do our Survivor Series War Games predictions, I'm taking the bloodline OG, triple OG, OTC when that happens. So I think that this has to happen to set up that.
Yeah, 100%. And I still think
absolutely. I think we're going to be across the board here that Bloodline 2.0 has to win this. I think, like I said earlier, this is going to be a test to see if Roman and Jimmy are really okay. We also have to get Sammy in the mix. We got 3 to 4 weeks to get Sammy in the mix. The Bloodline 2.0 needs this, and then that's what leads to Survivor Series War Games.
Absolutely. And I mean, Jacob Fatu still the X factor in this whole situation. I mean,
they're going to win here so they can lose later on.
100%. Good storytelling. And again, there's lots to figure out with this family story. It's going to go for quite a while. We haven't even got The Rock involved, which I still believe he is. So again, could The Rock show up in Saudi? Did they pay enough to get The Rock? I don't know. We'll find out. And I know people are, well, he's not, but planes fly. So let's hope things change. But
now it will. So, side question of if we're completely wrong, if we're wrong across the board, and the Bloodline Roman Jimmy J win this, how does that make you feel about the rest of this going forward?
They're going to be challenged to, again, why do they need help from Sammy? Why would they don't feel desperate? They don't feel like we really need to go to War Games. They've already kind of beat up the Young Bucks, like not those Young Bucks, these Young Bucks, the young fellas, the young Samoans. I think it's
private party. They can handle that,
right? Shout out, but I think it's a little more for the OGs to kind of take this one right out the gate,
right? I'm gonna do a side question like Nick. Bloodline 2.0 wins. Who takes the pinfall on the Bloodline side, the OG Bloodline?
Jimmy. I respect Big Jim, but Jay's up here and Roman's up there. Like, all due respect, Big Jim, but you can have that.
I was only gonna say Jay to further maybe the tension between Roman and
pull him
Jay
in a little bit more. Okay.
If they're really not on the same page at the moment, a lot of things will come to light on SmackDown tomorrow. But I was gonna take Jay just to see if Roman and Jay are on the same page.
That'd be interesting. Pull him in a little bit more and everything like that. Well, see, they pinned your ass, so see, you kind of need us,
right?
Well, I mean, again, it would be interesting if, and again, I think as far as an IWC goes, as far as Rikishi goes, Jay taking the L is the most fun answer because that will create the most discourse among everyone of like, see, they took
the most discourse amongst Rikishi.
Yeah, no shit.
It's like Rikishi.
Does anyone see a Lance in Hawaii, a Hikuleo, Forever Samoan, or Toblerone Samoan, whatever the fuck all of their names are at this point? Zilla, Fatu, what have you? Any of them show up?
The only question I kind of have here is if we're adding someone to the Bloodline 2.0, so I'm just gonna throw Hikuleo out there.
Yeah,
that's 5 of them, right? Who do we have on Roman's side other than Sammy that could be their 5th person?
Well, Roman's treated them.
Unless it's Jacob for 2.
Juicy
Right?
too.
I was gonna say Roman's 3 of them, so we're
Roman
the odds here.
Well, that's a very good question. That's where I hesitated. Like, could it be a case of Hikuleo comes in and is a bit, I don't know. I don't think Roman's going to pick up a new blood. That doesn't make any sense. Doesn't really add to the story that they're telling of like, all right, now we got this young guy that doesn't like the other young guys. So I'm kind of leaning that maybe not yet, because like you said, I mean, maybe they do bring them in and it's 5-on-4. One of them's not actually in the War Games match, but is the X Factor on the outside. Like a Hikuleo's like a bodyguard-ish, which Jacob has already been.
W. Morrissey, a big bill, a large cast, what you say. But no, I think we go 4 versus 3 by the time we get to War Games. That's when you get a Sammy involved. And I think all when we had CM Punk that ended Survivor Series either last year or the year before that, we end Survivor Series this year with If You Smell of he's coming out and establishing at that point he's the puppet master. He is the one pulling the strings on all this shit. And then if we add members amongst that, we can discuss. But
I think that's the perfect way to do it, Nick. And I think we've been kind of waiting for that moment. We saw Rock at the end of the last pay-per-view just kind of put everybody on notice that I'm still here. Right. And timing wise, I think it's good because you get Survivor Series and then you kind of have that lull. Like if you don't count Saturday Night
Mania,
it sets up, you go right into Mania season because you get Netflix, then you get Rumble. So now we can start building that whole, let's fight over who the
next chapter. It's the next chapter of I know everybody laughed and chuckled when Heyman said we're in the 3rd chapter of the Bloodline storyline. But now that we're maybe closer to like chapter 6 out of still like a 12 chapter book, we're more okay with it.
And he actually said the 3rd inning, and I don't even know how many innings are in baseball.
Nick doesn't want to
9. God damn it, trust me.
Baseball.
I've learned that the hard way.
He's blocked out innings. He doesn't chapters, damn it.
Everyone chapters now.
I agree with Anthony. I mean, I really do think that we don't know. Like this could be chapter 4, inning 4, if you will. Like we don't know how long, how deep, how many more Samoans, how many Samoans we can pluck out of the tree. This could go for another half decade. Like we might only be in inning. It has to be at least. We assume inning 3 ended. So let's say 4 or 5.
At least 4.
I would say at least 4 because I think he said. Did he say inning 3? Before WrestleMania 41 or after WrestleMania 40? I think he might have said
40.
After.
It was actually after 39 or 40 is when he was like, we're in inning 3.
Yeah, it was right around Mania. When
I think it was 39 because everyone was all upset because Roman won. And that's when he was saying we're still in only inning 3 here. So that's why, go ahead.
I got the years confused because 41 hasn't happened yet. So 39 and 40.
Surely The Rock have to be there to get his team for War Games. Yeah, I like it. I mean, again, even if it's a case of like the OG Bloodline, look like they have, I don't know. But what I do like about it is that I don't know. And that I think is the best part of kind of a lot of what we're getting right now. The chat is going 63% OGs. So they say, fuck your story. We want the good guys to win.
Well, we're setting up clearly at this point to an extent, one way or another. We're setting up for Roman versus Dwayne at WrestleMania 40 in Vegas.
Right.
Yes. Hundo.
Right.
Right. There's no we want Cody for this one. Cody will be busy with somebody else.
Cody can do some other shit. Cody can fight KO. Cody can fight Randy. Cody can fight Solo.
Do you think, now, just on a quick side note, like, do you really think that, like, we talk about Cody, Randy, possibly, but if it's John Cena's last WrestleMania, does that kind of shoe in Randy for that one? Randy, Cena's last Mania?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, if you're going to do that and that's the send-off, 100%, like, that's undeniable. But then it becomes the question of more of where do you slot Cody in? Because Cody's like, I'm going to do something that's never been seen before. like what you said is great, but it's now like, where do you slot Cody into this and everything?
Right. So, I mean, valid question. And I mean, that's the top. There's so many moving parts. You're never going to complain about having too many superstars. But my God, I mean, The Rock, Cena, Randy's still here. Rumors is still floating around about Brock Lesnar. People want Goldberg to fight Gunther, which I don't.
No, Goldberg can't fight a barricade. I don't need him to fight fucking Braun Breaker or nobody.
Right. But
get in the ring before we need to worry about what you do in the ring.
Right. Now we've ran through all the matches of the card. Based on our conversation, I think this is going to be a good one. We're going to be here noon Saturday. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. Brunch with the Boys 13.
Oh, absolutely. I think that this is setting up to be a solid card, and I think WWE at this point doesn't do bad cards. I know that might be a controversial statement and everything like that. Right? Am I a shill? I don't know, but it's one of those that WWE at this point doesn't do bad cards. They don't. There's enough that they can pull from. That's not going to be a bad card. So they don't do bad shit anymore. Of whether it's at noon in Saudi Arabia with 7 matches, or if it's on a Sunday, with NXT with 5 matches, they don't do bad cards anymore at this point.
Nah.
Yeah, I think over the past 9 months to a year, they've been really each pay-per-view card has been stacked in a way, even if sometimes they don't even look stacked. When the show airs, the show is excellent. So they've been doing pay-per-views pretty much right. I feel like I'm a big fan of the 5-match card. And having 7 is a surprise this time around. But I hope they continue on this trend of just doing great quality pay-per-views.
Quality over quantity. Dear wrestling bookers out there, no naming names, but please, quality over quality. Quality over quantity any day of the week. But ladies and gentlemen, speaking of quality, that is our preview and prediction show. We thank you for being here tonight on a Halloween and spending some of your trick or treat with us. I will remind everybody, the Wing of the Ring is out now. If you haven't seen it yet, a fun time where we answered some trivia questions and ate some hot wings, plus Wrestling Court, plus our interviews, plus so much more. Go down below. And I will remind are you doing a TNA review? I don't want to put you on the spot.
Absolutely. Got to talk
TNA
about
review.
I want to put you on the spot. I'm going to put you on the spot right
now. I didn't ask earlier, shit. But the best in the business doing it, the best coverage of TNA. So make sure you check out Anthony's TNA weekly review. And then, of course, Saturday, 12 p.m., like I said, Brunch with the Boys. Don't miss out. Set an alarm. We're talking to some of you vitamin lovers out there. Set an alarm. Don't sleep in. Show up at 3:00 for the pay-per-view. We know what y'all are like. And of course, tomorrow, 7:30 p.m., SmackDown Rampage, the go-home show. And again, no spoilers. We're gonna have a lot of fun with it and react to all the action as it's happening. Gentlemen, any closing thoughts on Crown Jewel or otherwise?
Someone did point out maybe that if the OG Bloodline wins, maybe they pull out the Bloodline 2.0 wins War Games. I feel like that could be something that happens too, but I don't know. That's my final thought.
Ooh. That'd be interessante. That'd be interessante. I still win, lose, or draw. Dwayne the Man shows up here as now. I want to ask this happy clown if I can get 10 nuggets and a Happy Meal and everything like that. But yes, no, I'm excited for Crown Jewel. I'm surprised they very much, I think, pivoted from knowing that this came across of like, hey, we're just doing this for the Saudi blood money. Of now we've got all of these actual built-in feuds tied into here. We're gonna get a lot of payoffs across the board, I feel.
Well, and I think what Triple H has done well, Nick, is in the past, shows like Backlash, shows like Crown Jewel felt like throwaway shows. Backlash was great this year. This card's shaping up to be nice. That Trips is of the mind of like, if we got to go over there and do it, we might as well do it right. So I think that's a better approach by Vinnie Mac, and the Triple H era has been fun.
Prince Ali, fabulous, but folks, I will remind everybody we're back at it like a jackrabbit tomorrow for Friday Night SmackDown. High noon out here like an old Western here for Crown Jewel. So 100% be a friend, tell a friend, like, share, and subscribe. Our shit is real. Our shit is raw. Our shit is authentic. When you're talking about that wrestling, you put that for life with it.
See you tomorrow. See you on the flip side. Happy Halloween. Good night.